After years overseas, I've learned something. The difference between an average trip and an unforgettable one usually comes down to one thing: information. Not money, not luck, but information. You see, I've landed in cities around the world where Google sent me to straight dead spots.
They what?
Travel blogs and YouTube videos were out of date, and every AI bot kept giving me the same generic internet answers. But then I run into a local or another passport bro, and suddenly the entire trip changed. I'm talking about the hidden rooftop bar packed with locals, the beach tourists haven't discovered yet, the restaurant with no marketing but a line out the door, the neighborhood everybody told you to avoid until someone who actually lives there showed you otherwise. The after-hour spots that never show up on Google, and the experiences that turn a good trip into a story you will be telling for years. This kind of information you usually only get from being connected. That's when it hit me. The best travel information isn't on the internet. It's inside the heads of people actually out there living it every day. That's what Passport Bros AI is built on. Knowledge contributed by over 30,000 travelers around the world. From Brazil to Thailand, from Colombia to Kazakhstan.
Welcome to Thailand.
ChatGPT said this was the hottest spot in town. Jeffrey, where the real hot spot at?
37 Passport Bros recommend Saruta nightclub. Best nights are Friday and Saturday.
Even I've uploaded my own experiences into his AI brain. Because when you land in a foreign country, you don't need another AI searching old web pages. You need information from people who were there just last week, last night, maybe even right now. Passport Bros AI, powered by 30,000 real travelers. Don't land clueless. Download Passport Bros AI today. All right, and we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. It is your man BMT in the building, and guys, we have a hell of a show for you guys this evening. First and foremost, man, welcome to the show. I hope all is doing well out there. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now, but hey, we're going to get through it as we always do, man. Hope you guys are enjoying your travels. Hope you got a vacation book or your next trip booked, because that's what we do out here. All right, we travel the world and we exchange information. Now, that being said, listen, I do not know why the Passport Bros, this term, all right, this ideology, if some people might call it a movement, I do not know why it lives rent-free in people's head. If they just benign neglect the Passport Bros, maybe we'll fall back into our small little space, all right? But they cannot let it go. I mean, so many people are triggered by guys traveling the world in general. You know, most of it's jealousy and envy for the most part, because, you know, you have to put yourself in a position to be able to do that. But just all the disingenuous, you know, videos and lives, you know, it's just a lot. But like I said before, man, it comes with the territory of having something that's actually actionable. And what I mean by that is Passport Bros, for the most part, you know, it's an ideology, but it's also a verb. It's something that you actually do. All right, you're doing something. You're getting your passport. You're taking trips overseas. All right, you're finding out more different information. So for the most part, you're not going to still be looking at some of the same content as you did if you was locked in to the States. You know, I was in the mall yesterday with my wife and my kid, right? And, you know, I had my little daughter with me and everything. And it was like an older white guy from, where was he from? He was from San Diego, right? Got about 72 years old. And we struck up a conversation. And he was saying, hey, man, you know what? I don't watch the news any longer. He said, I don't even pay attention to the news back in the States no more. It's all bullshit. And I'm like, yeah, it is. You know what I mean? Like, we don't even really pay attention. And I've had this same conversation with multiple people. Yeah, I might still watch the sports and everything. You know, shout out to the bum-ass Knicks. You know, you New York fans out there, I'm so tired of y'all asses. But, I'll keep a little bit of the news, and I know what's going on with the I just know what's going on, because it's all on social media. But it's just so good to not have to focus on that, and I think that's what they don't talk about in concerns of the passport bros. The fact that, your whole mind process is different than the average person that's just locked into everything that goes on daily with the matrix, because the Western media have us at each other's throats. If it's not race, it's sex or something. If it's a gender war, or it's violence, or it's just so much, and it's daily. Whatever you click on that social feed is what they're gonna feed you. All right, so it's just good to just take a break from that sometime and start having more of a global mindset. All right, but we're gonna get to these videos, man. I know you guys want to get to this smoke. All right, so we definitely gonna get to these videos. Let me welcome everybody in the chat. We got 32 in the room so far. Guys, do me a favor and make sure you hit that like button. But before I get started, man, I do want to make an announcement. All right, we have totally revamped the Passport Bros app right now. We have a AI module, a very unique AI module. All right. Not based on just, scrolling data like most most AI bots are, like Claude and everything like that. But we actually have data from over 30,000. We've been working on this for almost a year now. Shout out to my developer out there, man. He's been working very hard around the clock to get this done. All right. Eventually we'll have guys able to upload, their travel experiences to the AI bot as well. But right now, like I said before, you're not going to get any better data about travel than Jeffrey AI on this Passport Bros AI app. So make sure you download it. Matter of fact, let me pin it to the link in the comment section before we get to the show started, man. All right, this is an awesome app. Like I said before, man, shout out to my developer. And shout out to all the guys that help contribute information and data to the app as well. All right, as you guys know, the app has been active for about 3 years now. So we've collectivized all types of data and travel experiences, not only in the Passport Bros app, but also in the Facebook groups and as well as some of my interviews. And what was interesting, man, I just did a consultation with one of my guys out here, here in Thailand. And he was telling me about his experience in Brazil. Now, he only been in Brazil like twice. I think he went like for a couple of weeks. But he was telling me so much information. Now, I lived in Brazil for a whole year. But he was telling me all this information about the new beaches. And I knew they had new beaches in Rio, but I never went to it, so I wasn't familiar with it. But he told me about the new beaches and all his experiences. And I took the information he gave me and I entered it into Jeffrey AI. All right, so it's a ton of experiences. Like I said, my experiences are uploaded in there. And any question you ask, you're not gonna get these answers with ChatGPT or Claude or Grok or anything like that. These are unfiltered answers, specifically tailored to guys traveling the world. All right, what up, Iman Perry? What's good? What's good, man? What's good? What up, Azrael? Always in the building. I saw you made a comment on that Stephen Dean. We're gonna get to Stephen Dean in a minute. Your favorite, your homeboy. We're gonna get to Stephen Dean in a minute. Damn, I'm at work out, but I wish I was free to talk about this. It's all good, man. We're gonna work out for a while now. We might do a panel. I don't know. Azrael has been in the beginning of this. He's been rocking with me for years. I mean, we go back to probably about 2019, 2018, even before I even moved overseas for a time. Listen, we've been at the dating coaches. We've destroyed the dating coaches in the internet market. As far as the internet market, I'm not saying they don't have their audience. I'm not saying they don't make any money. I'm not saying they don't have their reach still. But, we pretty much destroyed them. I mean, the Passport Bros came in like a storm, and we just destroyed every talking point that they could ever consider. Now, what reignited this so-called beef, so to say, is MTR. Shout out to MTR, all right? He went to Thailand, all right? He enjoyed himself. He had a great time. And it was a lot of detractors from his talking points in Thailand. Now, this is the thing, right? They say he came at the women in America and all of that. For the most part, from what I saw, MTR was talking about the overall experience of traveling overseas and being in Thailand. All right. He enjoyed himself. All right. And he just pretty much talked about his experience. I don't know why that triggered so many reaction videos. Probably because he's a very huge content creator. All right. But he got reaction videos from AMS, Alpha Male Strategies, where I did a reaction video to him as well. Of course, my man O'Shea Duke Jackson, shout out to O'Shea. And now you got the dating coaches reacting to what MTR was saying. And they just totally misconstrued what he was saying. They totally misconstrued on purpose, right? To feed a certain narrative, to keep their audience because they so threatened by passport bros. I don't know what it is about this game validation. How much game do you need when you're, in your mid 30s or 40s? Listen, man, I said this, and I always say this before. You might think you might be manipulating a woman, and in some cases you might. But for the most part, I've always said this, that women run circles when it comes to game around men. They run circles, right? Because they have what you want, right? In most cases, you are the pursuer. So these guys have created a whole market without any receipts of their activities. They have never showed any receipts. And that's how we destroyed them. Because the passport bros, we always show our receipts. All right, we show our experiences overseas. Listen, I've been in Colombia. I lived in Colombia, lived in DR, everything. And I don't even do the whole, vlogging with the girls. I don't even do all that. All right, but you guys know that I'm married. I've been in a couple of relationships before, overseas as well. It's enough content out here to show you that passport bros are winning in the dating game. Now, before we even get started, they're going to say the same talking points. Every woman overseas is supposedly a prostitute. All right. That's how they look at it. That's how they try to reason with it, that every single female in these countries are living in huts, all right, and are prostitutes and are uneducated. The same chops that the women say about the passport bros. But we're going to debunk all of that in this stream. All right. What up, Timothy Bright? Always showing love. What's up, man? First super chat. Appreciate that, man. Said, how is it going, BMT? It's going well, man. It is going well. I appreciate the super chat. All right. My man Azrael say he has almost 1 million followers. That is one thing if you often put out videos, but a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers can change subculture. Yeah, he can, man. Shout out to MTR. MTR is very successful in the space. And it was criticizing him. A lot of people have been criticizing him about his content or his format per se about reacting to videos. But people like reaction videos, all right? They like to see what your opinion is on certain things that's going on. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and get right to it, man. We've been chopping up for a while now, man. Guys, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. All right. Make sure you hit that like button. Let me go ahead and load up some of these videos. 1 second. All right. Who should I start off with? Let me start off with this clown, Steve the Dean. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's start off with this one right here. I think we going in a row. Here we go. Okay, this is what starts off. All right, now Steve the Dean has been highly critical of the passport bros for the longest. All right, he's made dozens of videos on the passport bros. I have never seen Steve the Dean with a female. Okay, as far as I know, he's been married for 20 some damn years. Okay, he's giving out old Mackin game from the 90s, the early 2000s. It's a different world out here, family. It is a totally different generation of women out here today. So a lot of his information is not relevant in the 2000s right now. All right, but let's see what he has to say. Man, I went surfing in the DR, and it is hard as hell. It looks easy, but it's hard as hell to just actually stand on a surfboard. All right.
Okay. Let's go. Bye.
Guy told me to go take some practice ones. That was it. I'm back up in there though.
It's because you was scared.
Let go, Melly.
So there's no war. We passport bros have destroyed the competition. Damn, Melly looking good.
Okay.
Like they're enjoying themselves. Yeah, man. Jamaica, man.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa,
went around, and then you got offended that you forgot. You got offended like, oh my God, I remember now.
Yeah. Should I say it now?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, guys. So me and him are not cool anymore, and it's not because of he didn't try to crack or whatever. It was so we did some content together.
If you know anything about body language when it comes to women, all right. But we'll talk about that later on. Let me go ahead and continue to play. This is what she had to say about her experience with MTR.
And okay, so for those of you who don't know what's happening, went on a vacation, invited this man called MTR who has a YouTube channel that is pretty successful.
All right, so just keep that in mind, all right, because we'll come back to that talking point. She went on a vacation and she invited MTR.
And we went just as friends. Gail kept on saying that it's weird he didn't try you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, he just wasn't interested in me. That was the story. So Gail is trying to act like there is more. And I'm like, what is the more?
Because Gil understand women. He ain't no damn fool.
You were trying to hint me into like say that other part.
I'm just saying.
I forgot. I told him the whole story, but then I forgot that part. So why me and him fell out was pretty much, so we went on the vacation. It was okay. It was cool. And then so we did content. And then we're on our way to the airport. And I see that he works with people who post stuff for him. So he does the content, he has people posting for him. So he has a picture, he has a thumbnail, and on the thumbnail, so it's me and him because we did a video together, we're in the pool, having fun. And then on the thumbnail it says, MTR got hacked active with Melly in the tropics or whatever. So I felt like, okay, I know the game. It's YouTube. We're going to clickbait shit.
All right, real quick. I just want to show you guys the thumbnail. Hold on. I didn't mean to interrupt that. Hold on. Let me see if I can show you guys the thumbnail. I don't know why it's not popping up. It should be popping up. Hold on. Is it? That's the thumbnail right there. All right. That's the thumbnail in question. All right, so that's her flued out. Real MTR gets active with Melly Monaco. Get active. I mean, it's not really bad. I mean, it doesn't necessarily insinuate, in my opinion. That would be necessarily my first thought when he said gets active. But that's the thumbnail that she's talking about right there. Let's continue.
Felt like, don't use me to act like you cracked. Because that wasn't the case, and I kind of like felt offended. So I was like, maybe we're YouTubers, so he's like, oh, she won't care. So he posted it. So then we're at the airport, and I'm seeing the thing comes up on my phone. I'm on YouTube, and it shows up. So I'm like, wait, I don't like this. And I'm in a bikini too. He's behind me, like no shirt in the pool. So it's fine. But he said MTR got active. I got active with Melly Monaco. What? So I didn't like it. So I give him the benefit of the doubt. So I go and read the comments, and I'm seeing that he's liking some of the comments. So I'm like, fine, it's your page, you're liking comments. But then I was thinking, maybe you're just seeing if I am okay with it, and if I'm going to say something, and if I don't say something, then you keep it up. But I was like, I told him, I don't like it. Because you're implying something. I invited you on my vacation, and now I kind of like feel used and disrespected. So can you change the thumbnail? And then he said, oh, I didn't even see the thumbnail. I'm like, motherfucker, you saw the thumbnail because you're in the comments liking shit. So I know you saw it. So I told him, you're implying shit. I don't think that's respectful to me. Can you take it down?
Shout out my man Passport Blueprint. He says, but that's his catchphrase. Yeah, it is his catchphrase.
He refused to take it down. And then, you know, it was like kind of like because we're seeing that in Jamaica's airport. So now we still have to travel together. And it's like, I'm kind of like livid. I'm like, this motherfucker really won't take something down when I'm kind of like thinking I'm his friend. And you won't take something that I feel offended by.
You thought you was his friend. Y'all just met and you invited him on vacation.
Like, you can just change it. You can keep the picture because I get the picture, but change what you wrote because you're implying some shit that didn't happen.
Well, maybe he cracked and that's why he kept it up.
Shut the
Hey, I'm gonna show you guys some footage, man. I want you to watch the body language after this video. Let me know what you think. Me personally, I think, you know, from what I saw, I don't know.
He didn't fucking crack. So then we're on the plane, but we sat in different seats because we didn't book the tickets at the same time and shit. So he's on one side, I'm on another. And then we had a stop. So I think the stop was in Miami. So we had to get up. I think I couldn't find him for like the longest. And I was like, what the fuck? And then we got on the next plane. Oh, so then he has so we got to go through, how do you call it? Security. But since I'm not a citizen, I have to go through the long line. He goes through global entry, and then he goes fast. So I'm not expecting him to wait for me in the big ass line. So then we get on the next plane. I don't see him going in. I don't like nothing. So I'm pretty sure he made it. And then we finally get to Atlanta because I think I was coming out of Atlanta. And then he was just like, oh, you're here. You know, never checked on me really. Just, I don't know. For somebody you just went on a vacation with, it's really not the behavior that I was expecting. But I could understand, like, he wasn't comfortable because I told him I don't like something he did and he refused to take it down. So that's why I don't really fuck with him. That's the main story. So it wasn't about he cracked and I was like, oh, he cracked and left me. It wasn't that.
Gil don't believe it. He don't believe it, you know. All right, let me show you this before we get to Steve. And let me get the super chat real quick. Shout out to my man, Ty Maestro, man, with the $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, real ones remember when Steve had to how-to videos violating puppies, LBVS. Well, I didn't see that. He wanted to try to tell you how to crack or try to tell you how to stroke. Shout out my man, Ty Maestro, man. Steve is a fool. All right. So hold on. Let me know what you guys think from the body language. Hold on. Before we even get to Steve. Hold on. Where is it at? All right. Yeah. Right here. All right.
It's not gonna pop up on my side.
It's not popping up.
All right. So this is them. They look like they might be in the same room. I don't know. They look like their room in Jamaica. All right. Now I want you to see just the body language. Just pick the body language. And keep in mind, man, I mean, come on, man. All real players know that, you know, women lie. You know, that's one of the biggest lies that they do is body count lie, especially when they like you and they want to preserve, you know, their value, so to say. All right. And, you know, bro, listen, I went on group trips on vacations to Jamaica back in the day, all right, with family and friends. And, you know, me and, you know, one of my cousin's friends shared a room and we did what we did, all right, and we told and lied to everybody about it. So it's kind of, you know, it's kind of coming. You know, you'll both lie about it like, no, we do nothing. But Jamaica is hella romantic. The water, just the energy of Jamaica is all sexualized. They got swing resorts everywhere, hedonism and all that shit. So, you know, you going on vacation, you go into a foreign country, like you in the same room, but just let's get to the video. Just look at the body language before we even get to the dating coaches. Let's look at the body language here.
Try to refresh. This shit not gonna pop up on my side.
It's not popping up?
Nah. Let's see if they come in. I'm not convinced that we've done this correctly.
I usually always do I think we should do the other thing then. Oh, they're coming.
They're sitting pretty close. Y'all see that right there? They're sitting pretty close.
It's not enough. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
there they go.
Yo, hey Daniel. But you don't see it on yours?
Look,
Nah,
At all?
nah, I don't see it on mine, but it's
look. She pressing the boobies up against his arm. All y'all old school players know. All y'all dudes know. Is familiar with women. All right. She's initiating touch. You know, that doesn't look like she's uncomfortable with him. Now, she claimed that he didn't want her. And I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't, Melly is kind of fine. You know, Melly kind of sexy with it. All right. She's initiating touch in a closed environment with nobody else but them two.
come on, girl. Look at you. Respect the droid, the Android. Hold on, it's not an iPhone. You gotta give it some time.
My man says they both use each other. Sounds like he mad.
Technology. You know what I mean?
How are you not on here?
Yeah, it's not showing up.
I see y'all. Okay.
Uh-oh. Oh, they coming into the building. God damn.
All right.
Uh-oh.
You crazy.
All right, here's another video. Hold on. Here's another video. They're enjoying themselves. They're like a little couple.
Okay.
I don't know. And they were playing in the pool. They was like wrestling in the pool and shit. So they're like a couple, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know. You know, what you guys think? Y'all think that they did something? Press a 1 in the chat if you think if they got it on. In your opinion, press a 2 in the chat if you think they didn't. All right. See, yeah, MTR tore up. All right. So this is, she did a little like a video, I believe, on her channel. Like she was kind of sour, you know. Somebody put 2. All right, so that's her thumbnail. Call him the biggest loser. I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, back in the day, man, you know, this is back when I was in college, right? Me and my college roommates, you know, me and my friends and everything, we would go out. You know, we would play the club scene. You know, this is the AU Center in Atlanta back in the day, way back in the day, by the way. My wife, you know, she's still here. But, you know, we already knew who would we attract, which made it so much easier, right? And my light-skinned homeboy used to get all the brown-skinned women, all right? Me being in the middle, being brown-skinned, you know, I would get light-skinned girls and Caramel girls. I would never get the dark-skinned girls. My homeboy that was like Wesley Snipes, jet black, he would get the mixed chicks, the white girls, the high yellows. You know, I had one homeboy that was kind of like around, you know, my complexion, but a little bit lighter. You know, he would get the rest of them. But I have to say that, you know, you got a light skin brother, tall, with money. You got Melly, brown skin, you know, more or less, you know, a lot of brown skin girls like light skinned dudes. All right, let me get a super chat by my man, Decolas Jenkins, 5868 with the 5 super chat. Coach Stilo Reeves said, I have to get swole, get a bag, get a new wardrobe, and rizz up in order to date. His Alpha Man Deluxe course is $300 monthly. Decolas Jenkins 5868. I have a question for you, and I appreciate the super chat, brother. Did you pay $300 monthly? I think Lucario charges like $5,000 or some shit for that shit. All right. But did you pay for his course? All right. But let me read that one more time by Decolas Jenkins with the 5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, Coach, I think he's talking about Steve the Dean, but Stilo Reeves said I have to get swole, get a bag, get a new wardrobe, and rizz up in order to date. His Alpha Man Deluxe course is $300 monthly. That's deep. That's deep. All right. So let's see what this clown, Steve the Dean, has to say. Hold on.
First part. You saw the worst part. The worst part in this is the fallout between the two of them because he pretended that he actually cracked. That's what Melly said. Melly said that. I didn't make that up. All right, I want y'all to see something. And this is why you got to
Did he pretend or did he use his catchphrase, get active?
be careful about the people you watch on the internet. You have to game it out, young man. This guy literally went to Jamaica to hang out with a woman. And
no, that's not what happened. She invited him. All right. She invited him on a vacation to do content.
Then at the airport, pretended that he posted like he got some ad, like he cracked, and Melly got on him for lying. If you think about everything he did, what man what man hangs out at the pool with a woman and doesn't crack?
Facts. You're right about that. Yeah, what man doesn't?
Goes to another country with a woman and doesn't crack. What man,
which means he probably did,
sits around and hangs out with the food like he did? Like he did crack. Melly said it. You young men, y'all will see a lot of guys saying, I'm gonna go to another country, because these guys are showing you they don't know how to talk to women. They don't know how to interact with women. They think all women are bad, but let's game it out. When the invite came to go to Jamaica, wherever they went, why didn't he establish that I'm not flying out there if we're not fucking? Why didn't he establish that, you know what, I'm not going to go across the world or somewhere with you just to sit around and hang out? But did he do that, guys?
First off, once again, Steve the Dean is not paying attention to the context of the video that he's reviewing. I don't even know what he's driving to. Where the hell is he driving? All right, Steve is driving. What does he work for, Uber or some shit? Like, he's just driving around. All right, doing a reaction video, not paying attention to the context of the actual video. But she invited him onto a vacation in Jamaica. That's the part he's not catching. So if a woman invites you, all right, overseas to Jamaica at that, more or less, she's very interested in you, all right? Despite you doing content or not, all right, you look at the body language. Come on, man.
No, because guys like him that don't have any game assume that sex is automatic because someone says, like a girlfriend, let's go hang out.
But he didn't say, let's go hang out. She invited him. Like, he's missing the whole point. Steve don't be knowing what the hell he's talking about half the time. Look, Steve has not dated, all right, or has not courted a woman in 20 years. This man has been married, all right? He's been married with stepkids for the longest, okay? Not again, I don't tell about people's personal business and shit, but these guys never show you any type of receipts whatsoever.
Yet, he went blindly. Gentlemen, I didn't say up the corner. I didn't say up the street. I didn't even say to a 20-minute drive. I'm saying going from where he's at on a plane with a passport to go to Jamaica, whatever island they went on, to hang out with a woman that he wasn't gonna smash. And you can tell by his body he was nervous, soft, and effeminate to this woman.
Come on, man. He just making shit up now. He seemed pretty comfortable to me. Hold on. He seemed pretty comfortable to me.
I don't know. It's not popping over my shit. I don't know if I'm live on my channel.
He seemed pretty comfortable to me.
Wagwan, Maryland, MTR.
Uh-oh. Shout out to everybody that's down into the building. Uh-oh.
All right, let me catch some of these super chats real quick. We'll get back to Steve the Dean. Why used to call him Steve the Clown? I used to call him some little name back in the day. All right, shout out to my man Dame Dash Films with the $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that, bro. You say I had to G-check Tom Yum LaShawn. And you got to put a booty warrior at the end of that. I had to G-check Tom Yum LaShawn, the Ladyboy Lover, last weekend at Maju Bar, which he said some slick shit about you, BMT. He didn't want the fade, so he blamed it on his meds. All right, man. Hey, man. No beefs in 2026, bro. No beefs for me. I'm a family man now, man. I'll just leave it at that. All right. But I appreciate you stepping up for me. Dame Dash Films. All right. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, bro. Y'all be cracking, man. Y'all be cracking. All right, Todd Mastro once again with $2 super chat, man. I appreciate all the support, brother. He says, I thought him and Lucario married white threes. Yeah, we're not even gonna get into that, but yeah, you're right about that. All right, who says he didn't crack something else on vacay? All right, I got another super chat here. Game Changer, shout out to my man Game Changer. Game Changer, I'll be watching you, bro. I'll be watching you. You know, you be having some great talking points on your channel, bro. You guys got to follow Game Changer. All right, Game Changer breaks it down. He breaks it all down. Did Steve crack Melly or anyone like her? Facts. And I appreciate the super chat, bro. Facts. We've never seen Steve crack anything but some puppets. Allegedly, he was smashing some puppets doing stroke tutorials. All right. Let's get back to Steve. All right, hold on. That's the wrong video. Hold on. All right, hold on. Where we at? Let's get back to Steve the Queen, Steve the Dean. I think we're at the end of this video.
First part.
Hold on, let me fast forward a little bit.
And you can tell by his body he was nervous, soft,
he was not
and
nervous.
Effeminate to this woman. If you watch the video.
All right. Steve, once again, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. All right. Now here he goes in this video right here. He plays this video, okay, and he's comparing the Passport Bros to this guy right here. That shit is fucked up, though. That shit is fucked up. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hold on. Hold on.
Tranquilo ya.
I said, relax, man, relax.
Now I'm asking you this question. What is the difference between that foreign guy and MTR in Jamaica?
There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. They're nowhere near alike, Steve. They're nowhere near alike.
Same makeup, soft, weak, effeminate, no game. Is not going to hit. But you guys assume that women overseas are ignorant because they might have a hut, they might have chickens walking around in their front yard and all that other stuff. And y'all guys assume that just because she might be in poverty, that she is not smart enough to run game on foreign American men.
All right, so like you can see, Steve is still talking the same talking points. People assume, all right, and it's kind of insulting that you assume that, you know, guys are dating women that live in huts in 2026 anywhere in the world, okay? And if she did, that doesn't necessarily determine her character as well. She might be a great woman. She might be a great wife regardless, okay, of her economic situation. But he's same talking points. They huts, they prostitutes, same shit.
Okay, you remember what was that show? Was it Apocalypse Now in the 80s? I forgot. You remember Cool Hand Luke? Me love you long time. You remember when he was in Vietnam?
That's Full Metal Jacket, by the way, one of my favorite films.
Hey, anything you want. Me love you long time. And this is before the internet, which is showing you that women have seen suckers for decades since they have been having the military.
Keep your hands on the wheel, Steve.
Have had army bases in foreign countries. Everybody knew that the American dollar stretched more than whatever they have. Find yourself an American. Find yourself an American and treat them right. And treat them right. Me love you long time. And you want anything you want. Y'all know.
Wasn't that Vietnam? Don't you got to have his countries wrong? They was in Vietnam in Full Metal Jacket, not Thailand.
Know that Cool Hand Luke song? I think it's called Apocalypse Now.
Hold up. Somebody said I was done with Steve. We had a foot massage course.
But when these guys get on the internet and start lying to you and telling you that I'm going to move to another country because these women are treating me nice. He's not talking about the local women who have integrity and honor and they kind of value themselves. We're talking about the prostitutes and whores.
False. False. 100% false. All right. Listen, man. There is an emerging middle class. I just talked about this to a friend of mine that just left Brazil not long ago. All right. I think he was dating a nurse out there in, I believe it was Salvador Bahia or Sao Paulo, one of them. All right. They act like these women don't exist. There's a lot of single women in these foreign countries that have great jobs and great careers. All right. I'm married to a school teacher. All right. One of my friends is about to marry. I think she has like her own daycare center out here in Pattaya. Okay. Listen, man, like this whole you going overseas and you dating women out the street in huts, every single woman, millions of women, 70 million people, and all the women are prostitutes. It's bullshit. All right. Now, keep in mind, yeah, you do got some guys that marry bar girls or marry girls of the night in Latin America. You have that, but that's their choice. All right. There are options overseas, just like there are options in America. You got pros in America. You got strippers, that dudes that wife strippers in America. It's no different.
And it's crazy how you guys think that just because she's in a hut, that she's going to just open her legs to an American.
What country are you talking about huts? Who the fuck lives in the huts in 2026? You think we go into these backwood locations and shit? All right. Most guys overseas are in these, you know, decent tourist areas for the most part. What up, man? Bronx Kevin. You said, I bet Steve's wife bossing him around 24/7. Look, Steve full of shit, man. Steve's so full of shit. All right. Once again, never. And this is why we ultimately destroyed the dating coaches. Like, don't let the sub count fool you. You know, some of them got some subs and everything, but YouTube has totally changed the algorithm. It's not even about sub count. Sub count is just vanity at this point in 2026, guys. These guys are not getting any traction. They're not getting any views. All right. Nobody's taking them serious no more. All right. I don't think guys is necessarily buying their consultations or their courses or macking game in 2026. The Passport Bros totally destroyed the market. Totally destroyed the market. All right. So then we have, where we at? Then we got this dude who I haven't heard from in a long time. These guys right here. Hold on.
That's what I want to know. I mean, he's basically Drake with.
He's back, Lucario, and they insulted MTR and the Passport Bros. And Steve insulted the Passport Bros too. I didn't clip it, but he mentioned the Passport Bros a few times in the video I just played as well. All right, let me get the super chat right here by my man Todd Mastro. $2 super chat. Never forget Steve relinquished his parental rights. Okay, I know he was raising stepkids over there. All right. His family, listen, I'm not going at his family at all, nothing like that. But I know his situation wasn't really typical of what most men would want. All right. And I don't know what Steve was driving to. Did Steve drive an Uber or something? Nothing wrong with driving Uber. I used to drive Uber too, part-time. All right. That's a great way to get out the house and meet some people, stuff like that. My man says, I bet Mr. Lucario still drifting his 4K dating service. You know, I interviewed a guy that actually paid for one of those services, and he was so pissed off that he had paid for it. All right, he started traveling, and it changed his whole life. All right, so let's see what Lucario has to say about MTR and the Passport Bros. Hold on.
That's what I want to know. I mean, he's basically Drake without the fame. You know what I'm saying? And the money. He's like Temu Drake. I don't understand.
Temu Drake. These corny ass dudes right here, man.
Oh, shout out to 50. 50 said, is this what you going over there for? You going over there for refugees?
All right, so they call one of the dating coaches 50 Cent. This is not the real 50 Cent he's talking about.
He said this, and then he saw this chick. He talked to this chick in like a smoothie spot, and the chick turned around and he was like, "Look at this bitch, this SpongeBob SquarePants bitch." He was like, "Where the ass at?" Bro, I'm like, bro, you big time MTR, bro.
Right.
And you still complaining about bitches?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Is it complaining, or are you making a logical observation on the day market in America?
That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, he's taking what they're saying in public seriously.
Facts.
That's why he's having problems. He's taking women seriously. Imagine you take women so seriously, you fly to another country. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's so funny about the Passport Bros. There ain't no nigga that take a woman more serious than a Passport Bro. I swear, this shit is hilarious. Like, niggas is like, I'm packing up and I'm leaving. And you know what they'll say is, they'll say, oh no, I'm leaving for the lifestyle and the this and the that. It's like, no, nigga, let's cut the bullshit. Let's cut the
No, that's where you're 100% wrong, because you probably don't travel. All right, neither one of you probably travel. But listen, man, we talk about this all the time. Listen, man, once you get overseas, the women are like the icing on the cake, man. It really is about the lifestyle. It really is, man. All right, it's about learning. It's like you go back 20 years in your life. When I first moved to Colombia, I feel like I was in college again, man. Okay, because you're learning new things, and when you learning something new, you in a new environment. You fresh, you see new opportunities you can take advantage of, like as far as economic opportunities, buying properties, actually owning condos, owning apartments. Your whole, flow, just changes, man. And then you're meeting people that is more so, especially back in the day, you're meeting people that's more inside your mindset, your frame of mind, basically. You're meeting more progressive people, right? I've got friends now that I've met overseas that I talk to daily, and the guys I grew up with, I haven't talked to in 10 to 15 years, bro, because our mindsets are totally different. All right. You guys have took the initiative, right, to get a passport and start traveling the world and start learning different languages. All right. Even women are more impressed than anything that comes out a dating coach's mouth. The fact that you're actively traveling, the fact that you're learning a different language, even if you're not necessarily, fluent in that language, the fact that you can communicate in that language, all right, is the most impressive thing to a woman. All right, outside of, resources and physical attributes, the fact that you are experiencing and knowing different cultures. All right. If you invite a woman, if you decide to do that, some dudes do. If you was to invite a woman or she came, not knowing a lot to Colombia or Brazil or something, and you're familiar with it, you speaking some of the language, listen, man, she's going to get super attracted to you. All right. Super attracted to you because women love being comfortable in foreign environments. And they only really comfortable truly when they're with a man of their culture. Okay, speaking on American women.
The bullshit, because this is the thing. What happens?
I got you, game changer. I'm bringing you up in a minute.
Is that they'll say it's about the lifestyle, but that would only be real or make sense if you were getting bitches and actually making shit happen wherever you was beforehand.
Bro, why you gotta be getting bitches? Getting bitches. Is that what validates you as a man, getting bitches? Listen, man, it is not that difficult to date or court or even sleep with women in the United States. Let's be honest. All right, most of the guys in here had a fair share. Listen, this is how it works, man. This is overall, I'm making a brash generalization here. But listen, you got some men that aren't really great with women. You got men that are pretty much average, kind of in the middle with women, not good, not bad, do decent with women. And you got men that are very good at communicating with women. Most men fall in between. All right, especially in my generation when you had the cold approach. But this is before social media. You had to approach a woman, all right? And you had to kind of speak. You had to open up your mouth back in the day. So coming from the 90s and the early 2000s, man, courting was not that goddamn difficult.
Understand what I'm saying? Which means that the chicks were never a factor. But in these cases, the chicks are always a factor because they're complaining about them. See, if niggas was never...
No. Once again, you making either a realization or observation does not mean you're complaining, bro. That's like saying, hey, man, I got a knock in my engine in my car or something like that, right? You made an observation. You heard it knocking. You said, damn, my engine probably going to go out on me. That's not you complaining about your car engine. You're making a statement. Damn, my car fucking up.
Complaining about women and it was like, look, I'm going overseas because, it's cheaper. I like the weather over there. I like the people over there, the vibe.
Yeah. I'd like the people over there. The weather is nice. And yeah, it's a cheaper cost of living. Yeah, that's why I'm going overseas. You're absolutely right.
It's good, cool. Right? But no, it's like these dudes, they're going over there because one, they're taking what women say publicly seriously. And two, their language exposes them. These guys' language exposes them because they're complaining about the shit women are saying and doing.
Facts. And you know what? Shout out to him for naming his channel Mediocre because
I never understood that. I'm like, right. Somebody needs to interview him and that's the first. I'll be like, bro, what is up with you calling your shit mediocre?
No, it's genius. It's genius because he knew that he would relate to the average man.
Oh, that's right. Nah, that's a fact.
All right, you see the spin there? Now you guys see the spin there? Now, in order for you to be an extra average man to be able to court these high-value American women, you should get badboymembership.com and speak to Lucario, and I forgot the other dude's name, to speak to them, buy one of their courses, and then you will be an extraordinary man, and you will be accepted in the the social dating market of women if you take one of their courses because you're just mediocre. Let them explain it. But that's enough of them, man. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the panel. Before I do that, though, I do want to. All right, well, I got you guys here. Hold on. I'm gonna bring up a panel where everybody get ready. All right. We're gonna be right back. Let me take a little quick bathroom break, guys. And we got a panel. We're gonna get the panel in a second. Here we go.
Welcome to.
Why you think majority of niggas hate us?
Right.
ChatGPT said this.
Welcome to Thailand.
ChatGPT said this was the hottest spot in town. Jeffrey, where the real hot spot at?
37 Passport Bros recommend Saruta nightclub. Best nights are Friday and Saturday.
Bro, boy, look at her. She said she want to come over tonight. Bro, do you even know her? Nope. You talked to her before? Nope. You met her? You met her before? Nope. Let's do a bad Chica check. A what?
I recommend additional caution, potential risk detected. Multiple traveler warnings have been associated with this profile. Several community members reported negative experiences after meeting this individual. My recommendation, verify identity, meet only in public, and proceed with caution.
All right, we back, family. Hold on, we got a few people in the room. Let's get this party started. Where you guys at? Where you guys at? Game Changer, Passport Blueprint, the Black Cleaner. What's going on, fellas?
Salute.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, BMT?
Passport Blueprint, man. Heard from you in a while, bro. How's everything going with you?
Just being busy, man. Being busy.
Okay. Guys, like we got some bots in the chat, man. Just ignore them. You know, we got some Zulu bots in the chat. Game Changer, you there? You're the first one in the room. Game Changer, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, fam. How you doing?
Hey, man, what's good? What's good? What's good? Game Changer, didn't we used to go back and forth with the dating coaches back in the day? Was that you? We used to do that?
Yeah, that was me. That was me.
Okay.
Because I don't like the way that they're hustling young brothers. You know, they understand that there is a rift, that the market has changed, you know, not to men's favor, really not to anyone's favor. And they're really just trying to take advantage of this new wave of victimized men. It's sad, and I don't like it. And several times, including Steve the Dean in particular, you know, I called them out. Like, I'll challenge them to see who has the most game, because I don't think that they're really teaching guys anything spectacular. In fact, when you look at their experiences, when they go out and display their street thing, they're not really doing anything. They're just, look at how well I get rejected, is really their game. So like, I'll call them out, and, you know, only one of them accepted the challenge, and that was Steve the Dean, and he lost terribly. So, you know, it's
hold on, Game Changer. So you guys, how'd y'all do it? How'd y'all do the challenge?
Well, I put the link in the chat room. So it was on a show. It was two girls up there. Steve the Dean was going to use his best Mac on one of them, and then he got rejected. And I used my best Mac, or really just my basic Mac, on the other one. And you know, she displayed interest.
Okay.
So the link is in the chat. But yeah, I mean, they're not teaching anything spectacular. I mean, I never seen them even have chemistry with someone nearly as attractive as Melly Monaco.
Yeah,
like,
me either.
When you think about it, like, and that's throughout all of them, and Melanie King and stuff like that. So really, they just want to take guys like MTR down. And the passport bro thing doesn't, or, you know, the travel thing, I should say that, doesn't really help with that. It doesn't help with that, because that is their main competition, because no one shows greater results than people who travel, than men who travel. Like the lifestyle that you lead, you know, Zoom to Thailand, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and just general, just, you know, anyone in the Passport Bro community. This is the life that local American men want to live. They don't want to live their life as a 90s players hitting on chicks in their 40s. They, you know, a young man do not dream about that. What do I want to be when I grow up? I want to be a game dude. Nobody wants that, you know. Nobody wants the middle-aged, you know, cold approach, and, you know, I'm picking up bras and constantly getting shot down by overweight chicks in Miami. No one wants that. Ever. And that's what they're trying to sell. they're also trying to sell foot massages and all kind of stuff like that, like foot massage courses.
I want to catch this comment by CJack202003. He says, "Get active to me just means they're chilling and doing content together." What do you guys think about that? Like when I saw "Get Active" and I saw this thumbnail, I didn't necessarily assume he meant that.
What do you mean, get active?
Right here, the thumbnail. This is what she was upset about. Hold on. Why is it still here? Hold on. Let me put this up again. Right there.
Like I said earlier, that's his catchphrase.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is his catchphrase. He's always said that. So I don't know why she's getting upset about it.
Yeah, like I wouldn't necessarily assume that meant that they smashed or anything like that. Gets active. It's like, I mean, y'all enjoyed yourselves. You had a nice time. But keep in mind, as a woman, when you invite the guy on vacation with you, most people are going to assume that y'all doing something. Just by the activities, by the body language, most people will assume that because most women don't invite guys on vacation that they don't want to smash. All right.
Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is, I think that we should embrace the strong possibility that he did smash.
Mm-hmm.
And the real reason why she reacted this way is because the aftermath wasn't to her liking.
Yeah, but when she said she was upset because he didn't check on her when they got to Atlanta, I'm just sitting here like, yeah, that sounds kind of like, why would you be expecting for him to check on you? You know what I'm saying? If y'all just kicked it. So that kind of led me to think that, okay, they possibly did something.
Yeah, there is a strong possibility that they did smash, and this is, it probably didn't go the way she wanted to afterwards. Mm-hmm. And, this is her reaction. I mean, I'm not going to say anything about her or anything like that, but there is that possibility. I do know that MTR's reaction is the same as it would have been whether he smashed or not, because MTR always wanted to keep his, as he should, as it's smart to do. He wants to keep his personal life separate. He even told Melly Monaco that on his show. He's like, if we were to get together, it's an NDA. So he's not the type to brag on if he smashed or not, and even defend himself if he's accused of not smashing. He just avoided that back and forth altogether. There is the possibility that he did, but it really don't matter. Like, I mean, there comes a certain point in life, past junior high, where you're not looking for sexual bragging rights. And that's what people like Lucario, Miles Cunningham, and Steve Dean don't understand. But MTR understands that. And he's not looking for bragging rights. He's, it's just like, okay, whether it happened or not, this is the thumbnail and speculate what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Black Clean, I got a question for you, Black Clean. I'm going to get to you too in a second, Password Blueprint. You've been overseas for a minute, man. You like in this, Panama or something like that?
Yes.
All right. Are you dating any women in huts?
Of course not. I mean, the girls that I've dated, the girl that I've been dating for about 3 years, she had her own house. You know what I'm saying? Another girl that I've been dating, she's a CNA, home health care aide. So all of the girls that I dated, of some substance. Now, don't get me wrong. I have, been befriended a couple of females that are, or professional companions out there, and they have showed me the game. And I wrote it all in my book, shameless plug. But they actually showed me the game and a lot of the reasons why things go on in Latin America. Meaning because they don't, they do in America. Section 8, all of these things. So they're left or relegated to what we would call the underground economy, because that's their safety net. So, but a lot of times, no. I mean, as you said, because I'm in an area protected to the women of all kinds, and of course, I'm just dating the ones that like me, and the ones that like me are usually going to be Afro-Latina, and they're also going to be working and normal. That's one thing that I wait, because the fact is, I don't like the games that go along with it. That's one of the reasons I left America, was to get away from the game.
Okay. Passport Blueprint, you there? I think you just took yourself off mute. Passport Blueprint.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, what you got to say about all this, bro?
Look, when I was studying in Israel, you know, I was in an international school, and I had different women from different countries. And the one that I vibed a lot with, that showed me a lot of respect and a lot of love, with the German women. Now, for these two dating coaches, where I'm going to find German women at in the hood? Seriously. So what is my next option if I'm like seeing that, if I want to feel that loving connection, where I'm going to go? I'm going to go to Germany. That's just obvious. So, you know, what they're saying is a bunch of garbage. You know, you're going to go where you appreciate it, you know? So these dating coaches just don't get it, because they think, oh, you can go, and you can just hear it in the language, you know, they're having a problem getting, you know, these bitches. It's like, that's the point. I don't want bitches. I want women. You know what I'm saying? Whether they be German,
I want both.
I even had sisters from Angola.
Right.
I had sisters from Angola. They were sweethearts. But where I'm gonna go? I'm gonna go to Angola. You know, there's a difference. When you go outside America with American women, the women overseas are just different. Now, is it gonna be a perfect solution? Obviously not. You know, because the mindset is gonna be what it is. But it's going to be a lot different than dealing with American women. And I'm not saying there's not good American women. They are there, but it's almost like, you know, searching for a needle in a haystack, where I can go overseas and deal with a haystack full of needles. That's what I'd rather do.
He said, hey, I like that. You dropping bars, Passport. Okay. You dropping bars. All right. Passport Creed, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you a little bit, man. Everybody audio a little down, but yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, my bad. I'm at the airport, so I'm trying to work with what I got.
Okay, you about to fly out?
No, I just flew back in. You know, I just got my passport stamped, so I got to come back to the grind.
Okay. Where'd you go, if you don't mind me asking?
I still haven't got over DR yet, but I'm phasing myself out.
Okay. What part? San Domingo, Santiago, Puerto Plata?
San Domingo.
Yeah, I love San Domingo too, man. San Domingo is nice. A lot of people be sleeping on San Domingo, but you definitely got to kind of have your friend list already together.
You already know. You're giving them a good game.
For sure. All right, man. What you got to say about this?
Well, you know, I see a Game Changer. He covers this a lot. It's like I always see like there's always like a constant trying to control just men, period, on where they should, or which well they should pull from, because you know it seems like I never see any other dating market get such a rise out of men outside of the Passport Bros from AMS, and then you got all these game goofies over here always upset at anybody that you know that's in the dating market. Now that they're going at MTR. I watched this video with MTR when he had Melanie, when he was doing the one-on-one with Melanie. I think they had a couple lives back to back. Now, from what I remember from the live, Melanie was pretty much asking MTR out on his live, but for some reason, those game guys will skip all that and try to make it look like he hooked up with her, whether he did or not. I mean, who knows? I mean, most women are gonna lie if they hooked up with a guy or not, because you know they always want to preserve themselves for the most part. But from what I've seen, it seemed like Melanie was more interested in NPR than NPR was interested in Melanie Monaco. That's how she even ended up with Gil, because he had first dibs, and then he had the other content creator, forgot her name, but he even had her, and then she was making passes at him. So, you know, I thought people would have kind of been at least a little bit happy for MTR and his newfound wave of utopia that he done found in Thailand. But of course, if he cannot do it in America, then he should not be able to do it anywhere else in the Black society.
That's a good point. That's a good point, man. I want to catch this coming here, and I want game changers. I want you to answer this right here. This is kind of like a tricky one. Women are the same worldwide. The overseas girls just run game differently. What would you have to say to that, Game?
Women and girls are not the same from high school to high school or college to college. Why in the world would they be the same from a completely different culture and religion? Here's what I mean from high school to high school and college to college. When you were in high school, you know which school had the prettiest girls. You know which neighboring school had the, had the pretty girls, the ugly girls, the girls with herpes. You know which school had a higher concentration of the best type of girls. And you made sure that you went to the away games at those particular schools all the time. So, and this is just like 10 miles away. So for you to say that they're the same, like I'm from Oakland. West Oakland girls are a lot different than East Oakland girls, a lot different. And they're also a lot different than San Francisco girls. I mean,
in Atlanta, it's like the East Side girls were way different than the West Side girls.
Exactly. Like everybody who's from a major city knows. I mean, I've never been to Baltimore, but I'm pretty sure West Baltimore is different than East Baltimore girls. That's everywhere. So for you to assume that if West Oakland is different than East Oakland, that somehow, East Oakland would be the same as, West Manila or some crap like that is ridiculous.
Now, game changer, like in certain cases, what he's saying is true, because as far as the emotions, as far as them getting upset about the same things, like a woman is still a woman, but you're right. Like you're right in the sense of they internalize certain things differently, right? You can kind of tell, you can direct your woman, out here more so, hey, you're the leader of the relationship, you're expected to, be the provider and lead, versus maybe in the States is of course that's different. But for the most part, he's right in the sense that, women are still kind of women. They get jealous, they get angry, they cry, they get emotional. Like in that sense, he's right.
No, what he's talking about, because people make this argument before. I mean, of course, in some sense, this statement is going to be right. I mean, they're the same in the sense that they both have two bits, and I mean, like that's pretty much it. But I mean, what he's trying to get at is that you're not escaping the worst part of female nature, and that's what he's trying to say. And I would say no, there's a higher concentration of cooperative, attractive women in the rest of the world than it is in the U.S.
Okay, so hold on. So some would say, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Some would say they're the same. It's just that they have a lack of opportunity. And because they have a lack of opportunity, or the men don't tolerate certain attitudes from them, but if they had the opportunity like they have in America, they would be the same.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so understand this.
Hold on. Can I say something?
Right quick, because that's a good point. If a steak was picked out of the garbage can, is it the same as a steak that's bought in the store? The circumstances, I mean, they came from the same cow, but it's a different circumstance. Circumstances what made the steak delicious, how it's prepared, how it's cooked. Yes, these women were prepared different. They were cooked by their parents in society a lot different than local American women who were, cooked in a garbage can. Unfortunate for them.
All right, go ahead, Black Cleaner. What you gonna say?
I was gonna say, though, I can see the wants are the same. I mean, a lot of the women all around the world, they all want the same thing. They all want what we would consider to be soft life in some form or fashion or another. But what I see is that the closer that you are to the West, okay, meaning the United States, Europe, whatever, you're going to be dealing with meaning survival of the fittest. You're getting a lot of that manipulation type of mentality. Versus when you leave that area, you're not dealing with women overseas, you're trying to get women with more ability, more manipulation. So they all want the same thing. It's not like what Game Changer was saying. They're more on their approach and how to go about getting it. And I mean, I deal with that when I was in the West, like I said, I being in the military in Japan, So the women that I was dealing with when I was in Japan in 1990, they were more, whatever they had.
You borging out, Black Cleaner. You borging out a little bit, bro. I don't know what's going on with the audio. You making some good points, but you keep borging out a little bit, bro.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay, so but when I went back home to being in the United States, the women are more on, what's mine is mine and what yours is mine type of a situation. Or, why would I, screw with you when I could just a guy who has more than you and just get with him and he'll be able to get back to me. So it was always that war argument that goes on. So that's really what it is. They only want just their approach of getting it is different.
Okay. And Black Cleaner, you might have to change mics, man. You kind of bored out on us a little bit. I want to catch a super chat by the Coldest Jenkins 5868 with $2 super chat. How do we raise up and what style we need to travel? I think you mean maybe, dress. I mean, that depends on the country, of course. I would say out of all the countries, maybe, depending on the city, like Medellin or something like that, you might want to dress nice and wear jeans instead of shorts, something like that. I would say in Brazil and Rio, definitely want to be in shape because it's beach culture. But it depends on the city, man.
I think he's being sarcastic. I think he's pointing to the fact that there's,
Yeah, but I was just, that might be a question in general, but yeah, it depends on the city. Now, I want to bring on my man Ronan in the building. All right, what up, Ronan?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, brother. Once again, brother, you got the wrong flag in the background. It's the Atlanta Falcons, brother. It's the Atlanta Falcons, ATL.
Yeah, man, listen. Atlanta ain't been a factor in almost 20 years, bro.
False. We went to the Super Bowl. We went to the Super Bowl in like 07 or 2014 or something like that shit. One.
All right, excuse me, 10. I'll give you a good solid 10.
All right, man. But what's going on, man? What's good with you? What's up with these dating coaches, bro?
Hey, man, they're jealous. What can they do? Their clientele are leaving. Okay? And then this alpha male strategy dude, I don't know who the hell this guy is. He openly admits his clientele, the people that he's convincing in the world of how to date and how to move, are 16 to 24. That's his market. He's talking to kids. Bro, I don't want that kind of man talking to my son, my grandson. What the fuck? Excuse my French. I can't be cussing because I know how YouTube is. But I'm just saying, y'all really got to look at who's talking to who and why they're talking to them. Why can't they talk to grown men? Why are they talking to young men or even teenagers? Alpha male strategy
because we can see through them.
Right. Exactly my point.
Yeah.
But nobody calling him on the fact that he's raising through verbal communication 16-year-old kids to believe a certain way about women.
And the crazy part, in all honesty, man, it kind of sucks that so many young boys are being raised without fathers within our community, because that leaves that door open for that. You see what I'm saying? Like we all got bits and pieces of, I don't even want to say, I hate to use the word game, but let's just say information about women from mostly our uncles, older guys, in some cases our dad, if they were around. But, we took bits and pieces from them. But now it's the internet. You know what I mean? Like, they're taking dating advice from people like Fresh and Fit and Myron and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy right now, bro. Like, young men are being raised by the internet now, period.
A lot of these dudes are slow thinking, slow talking. I mean, dog, Steve the Dean talks so slow, I could think circles around him before he get one word out his mouth. The level of intelligence from these men that are supposedly dating coaches and influencers when it comes to our community is crazy work to me, that you guys are even listening to them.
I don't know how they still even have followers. Like, it's like the truth is out there now.
Well, no, it's all about salesmanship, man, and that market is there. Like I say, a lot of guys are being, usually what happens in most cases when guys, it's like they identify with you. You know what I'm saying? So if you like unattractive or a guy that feels insecure and this guy's selling something to you that could make you improve your communication skills with a woman, a lot of cases, man, guys will sit there and they'll give it a shot. You know, I think Tariq Nasheed started all this shit. If in my opinion, that was the first dating coach I knew about was Tariq Nasheed.
But see, that's the key thing. What you just said.
Well, I mean, what I noticed,
the thing you just said is the key thing: is sell, buy. They're selling stuff. We're not selling anything. All this information we given is for free. They can learn this stuff from us and go to these Passport Bro channels and learn this stuff. We're not selling any packages or anything like that, at least the legit Passport Bros. But everything else these dating coaches are doing, yo, buy my course, buy my book, buy my ebook. You know, we're not selling how to do it. And all of this is nothing but repackaged garbage from somewhere. You know, we're not selling anything. We're telling you just do this, do that, and you're fine. And that's where they're losing money because they're seeing how it works for us and how we're getting results and how things are a lot different when we're overseas and what we're getting and stuff like that. And they're following our game plan that we laid out for free. We ain't charging nobody nothing.
And they hate that because once they see that you abandon the plantation and then you're having success, they can't point at those guys no more and be like, see, you see those losers, they get nothing. But if you listen to me, you'll get everything you want. So now that they don't have that pool to pick from, so now they have to try to go and try to tear MTR down just so they can raise themselves up to so I guess for their whatever fan base they have left.
And you know what, Passport Creed, it even goes deeper than that, man. It's even outside of the dating coaches. When you got people like Anton Daniels, I don't consider him to be a dating coach at all, but he tries to almost discourage people from traveling, which is I just don't understand it. Like, I don't know why it's so much of a backlash within our community of Black men traveling outside the country. That's the part that kind of just baffles me.
I think with Anton Daniels, it's a little different. It's a lot different than dating coaches because the financial motivation is a lot different. But I think what Anton Daniels is, he's looking for adoration. He's looking for, like, everything he does is like he won a competition. I'm a millionaire. You know, I've been married for so many years. My daughter is well behaved. So, you know, that's how he measures himself against everyone else. However, once you take that away, like, okay, I'm just go abroad, then you're not measuring yourself on your ability to fulfill the American dream. And Anton Daniels has accomplished the American dream. So he wants more Americans to pursue that dream so he could stun on them. If that doesn't happen, then, you know, his powers to stunt becomes less and less. And that's that. Speaking of which, I noticed that mentality in a lot of the dating coaches audience. When I read the comment section of Lucario or Steve Dean or something like that, you know, they all are trying to say, and really they're just hiding the fact that they are near incels mostly, but they're not really looking to get into that lifestyle for the sake of, I actually want to improve my love life, or I actually want to improve my sex life. What they're doing is they just want to be able to have bragging rights over somebody who is as much of a loser as they used to be in that regard. That's what they're hoping for, and that's why they buy the course. Not to actually get women, but to, you know, actually get them and say to those who don't, like, look at me, you ain't got no game, I got game. And that's what game is. Game is a competition. They want to win a competition that they have lost in all their life. And unfortunately, these dating coaches are telling them that they can do that. They can't help them win that competition.
Good point. Ron, I want to ask you this question, Ronan. Do you think that, in essence, these dating coaches are somewhat needed for the younger generation? I say that to say because, you know, all of us are older gentlemen for the most part, right? And we had to approach women. We had to talk to women. We had to be comfortable around women. You know what I'm saying? Like, this younger generation, they don't really have the communication skills because everybody grew up on their cell phones, on social media. Like, do you think that that's still needed to a certain degree?
Strictly because of how right now the Black nuclear family specifically is, and not having a lot of males in the family or uncles of note that they can go and seek that information from. A lot of these women claim to be in church, but that's only on Sunday. The rest of the time they in whatever club they can shake a tail feather at. So there are no men in the home raising or helping to raise boys. That's why you get a lot of men that are emotionally inept. They are emotional when you go to confront them. Iron's supposed to sharpen iron. You ain't supposed to get that goddamn upset over somebody making a little comment. We used to sell the dozens on a regular basis to toughen up the fact that people are going to talk about you. So what?
You said the dozens, but I heard the dozens since like the 70s, bro.
But I'm just saying, we were conditioned for that because the minute you walked out the door, you had white people insulting you all day long. So here's the thing, we've forgotten all that stuff. Men are not able to instill anything into these young boys now because women are like, don't say nothing to my kid.
So Ronan, in essence, you would agree that AMS, he's needed within that market.
Can I say something? I want to answer that. It wasn't my father or anything that, taught me how to speak to women. So I don't think that that's something that you necessarily have to get from, previous generations. So the young people have obstacles that exist that didn't exist in my time. And that is the internet, it would be okay in the 90s when I grew up, if you just so happen to be the handsomest guy on the block. If you're the handsomest guy on the block, then you're actually going to have a very happy life. But that's different with Bumble and Twitter out there, where you actually have to be the most handsome guy in a 10-mile radius, which I'm not. So, it's completely changed. From the moment a girl turns 18, she is bombarded with male attention. And by the time you come with your OnlyFans. Yeah, exactly. So by the time you come with your cold approach, to her, she's already jaded. We didn't have that problem. So this young generation has an obstacle, with women who are oversaturated with male attention. They have an obstacle that didn't exist in AMS time and Steve the Dean's time and, Lucario and Miles Cunningham time. They have this obstacle that none of these dating coaches have advice on how to overcome. They're basically saying, I want you to keep with your 90s game on 2026 women. Women who have been just, swiping left all day. And then you come like, hey, can I get your number? Like, no, it doesn't work the same way. So, I mean, I think that, something is needed, but not what they're doing.
And you know what else game changer? These young guys are also dealing with a high percentage of LGBTism as well. You go to Atlanta right now, you got so many women that's studying out. It's like, damn, who these young guys gonna date? Shit, there's so many of them now. I remember back in the day, we had like, I don't think we had any studs in my schools, in high school or college. But now you
used to be able to see the ones that was gonna eventually turn into, at least in my time.
Yeah, but like Game Changer said, man, we dealing the younger generation dealing with, they have more economic opportunities than I think we did with content and the internet and being able to learn for free. Everything, all the information we had to pay for. You know what I'm saying? We had to pay for school. We had to pay for technical college. Now you can go online and do YouTube University before you even enroll. Right, you can become damn near electrician or you know what I'm saying, before you even go to school. Now you still gotta get your certifications, but you can learn a lot. So in essence, they have more opportunities than we did, as far as learning and economic opportunities. But I missed back in the day. I mean, I'm married now, but I missed back in the days when you could just approach a woman and talk to her, record her, take her out. You can gotta take her to no goddamn fancy restaurant. They were cool with Applebee's. You know what I'm saying? 2 for $20. You just get to know each other. But those days, I think the younger generation of women, because of the rap music, the city girls and everything, they expect a 21-year-old to be driving the goddamn Bentley now.
Exactly, and
Or,
as long as there's
be a stepper or a YN and shit.
yeah, and as
You
long
know?
as there's at least a few of those guys in that age bracket that has that, then they all of them gonna gravitate to that, and then a lot of the other younger guys they're gonna be lost in the sauce, and that's why I kind of see what keep happening to to the younger generation. But I would not advise the younger generation to take like what Game Changer was saying. You can't take that old game and think that it's gonna transition in today's time. Like no, you gotta adjust it with today's time, and you need bread. There's no way around it. You need bread to make some shake. If you ain't got no bread, I mean, what are you gonna do? You think you're gonna go and talk her head off when she got dudes cash apping, Venmoing, and selling, just to even get attention? And you think you can kind of go and compete with that? I mean, you can keep trying, but do you want to waste 10, 15 years to realize it doesn't work? But
Yeah.
when you could just get a passport, learn a language, which is a whole lot cheaper and a whole lot easier, and then expand your options, and then leave the guys that want to try to climb Mount Everest or Foreverest, and you can just leave that for them, and then you can go over there and you can still get black women, you can still get every color of the rainbow of kind of women that you want in your type, in your budget, with just a passport and learning the language.
That's a good point. You learn that language, man. You in there like swimwear. You learn that language.
That's all. If a man can learn just intermediate Spanish, and he goes to Santo Domingo, where I just came from, and if you can literally walk up to any chick and carry on a conversation, I mean, you already, like I said, you're already 60% into the door. I mean, I don't know. At least that's how I see it. I'm 40. That's how I've seen it. I don't went through the days of trying to figure out how to talk to females and realize, okay, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. Then I went on the internet, then realized, okay, what are guys doing it today? And this is how I run into these old, 2013 Calacario. I mean, man, it's been a long time. See, when I was introduced into the manosphere, that was probably the real authentic before the co-op of all these people that's actually joining it just for money and monetization. So now, I mean, the manosphere that I initially came in, where you can get quality information, that's gone. Everything is pretty much whatever's gonna get clicked and views and for the money. So what guys would do today, I'm not sure how would they what would they what the proper steps would they need to do outside of just trying to work on your looks, work on your money, and then work on your status. Outside of that, I'm not sure what a younger guy could do to get himself in a game that's an average earner.
That's facts, man. Man, San Domingo, a lot of people sleep on San Domingo, but I lived there for a year. There's the most beautiful men in the world in that city, man. San Domingo, don't slip on it. I want to welcome True Prodigy 27 to the show. What's up, True Prodigy?
What's good? What's good, man? Y'all heard me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. What's good with you?
Hold up. Yeah. I got you. What's good, Rona? What's good, Black Cleaner? What's good, Game Trainer?
What's up, nephew?
What's up, man? So what's good, man? So I was gonna actually talk about this topic. I'm probably not gonna do it. I think it's out of my ballpark. I'm familiar with the passport guys and like the dating coaches or whatever, but I didn't talk about those guys enough. But I will say this, the passport movement is needed. It is a movement that young men should strive to get into, because it's like freedom. You do what you want. It's a different lifestyle, different coaches and all that stuff. And I do think it is a good thing for young men, to be immersed in that thing, to broaden their like worldview or whatever, So yeah, I do think the passport movement is needed, but it's like I don't want to like say too much, because I don't want to like go at those dating coach guys, because I've done it enough. But I'll just say this, man. I do think the passport movement is needed. You know what I mean? Like, it's certain things I don't agree with the movement, but by and large, I do think it is a movement that young men should, prioritize, So yeah.
Good point. You want to respond to that, Game Changer? I want to know what you disagree about with the Passport Bros. But go ahead, Game Changer.
No. I mean, definitely, brothers need to travel. Brothers need to travel, even if it's like AMS said, 2 weeks out of the year or something like that. Brothers need to travel. It's a matter of perspective. Like you spend 2 weeks in another country, and as it deals with relationships and women, you're not really going to look at the local ones the same anymore. Do you
guys think that traveling too young can kind of stunt your I guess social or dating growth to a certain degree? For example, I got a guy here I play basketball with. He's like 21 years old, right? He's from Atlanta. And I'm like, damn, you out here so young, man. You're not going to even be able to, you know what I mean? Like you're experiencing so much here in Pattaya that you're never going to be able to really, be able to necessarily socialize or date an American woman. And you're so young, you're 21. Like most of us experience dating American women, dating women of our own culture and stuff like that. You know, we had our nice experiences. We had our little Love Jones era. You know, Ronan, I know you had your one back in the day. You know what I'm saying? The loving basketball, the romance, the black love shit. But 21, it's just like, damn, I kind of wish you would have been able to experience a little bit more before you came out there. Do you think it's something that's too young to be traveling?
No. And I want to let you know something. The black love era that you're talking about is long gone. What was the Love Jones was over 25 years ago. What movie Love Jones existed since then? So I mean,
Love Jones, Loving Basketball. What was the other ones? There were so many good ones.
We're talking decades ago. You know, they stopped making black love movies a long time ago because there is no longer any black love. So I mean, you would actually be doing him a disservice by not introducing him to alternatives to black love, because to search for black love, you know, in modern times is a fruitless endeavor. Not to say that it's impossible, but it's strongly unlikely, and I would not reduce a young man's romantic experience to black love. You're asking, when you tell a young man to, seek black love, you're telling him to ignore 87% of the local female population, meaning that you can only date 13% of the women, in America.
But hold on, game change. I'm talking about like, you got college, high school. He's like college age and everything like that. So I think he has more opportunities, like to meet women, in college. Basically, I think dating gets very difficult after college. But I think during the college frame, you should be able to maybe find you a good one, on that college campus, some goddamn where. It's millions of girls, or at least hundreds of thousands. Yeah.
Should be.
No, it is. Dating is a lot easier in college than it is outside of college, granted. And when you say easier, it's easier than outside of college. It's not easier than it was when we were in college.
Yeah, because
it's still very difficult in college. Now, I'm not recommending that anyone ignore local opportunity. I will never recommend that for anyone. I'm just saying, have your options open to foreign and domestic opportunities. Don't ignore the pretty girl in the dorm down the street, but don't limit your only options to that at any age.
But don't you think, man, but you think like if a guy's 21 years old and we're taking them to Pattaya, Medellin, or something like Sasua or something, don't you think that just totally just washes his brain out?
No.
Sasua, yeah. I haven't been to Pattaya and stuff. I mean, I wouldn't say, okay, because Sasua deals with working girls. And introducing working girls to a young man, may skew his perception. But guess what? If he partakes in working girls at a young age, when he approaches a local girl at Howard University or something like that, he's going to do it with a set of empty balls. He's going to, he's not going to come off horny. He's not going to come off, desperate or something like that. He's going to come off as a man that can have a hotter woman at any point in his life. All he has to do is fly. That might work to his favor.
Yeah, the reason why I say that the younger the better is because if he has a good experience and he can see what else, other opportunities that he has at his younger age, he can start preparing his life to where he could have that as more of an accessible option compared to, okay, like me, I'm a truck driver. I've been doing truck driving for 10 years. I didn't travel till I was like maybe 36, 37. So if I would have traveled in my 20s, I could have probably maybe used some of those years when I was maybe going to college for a waste of something that I'm not even doing now. I could have been doing something to where I could been being able to work more remote. So that would have been an option for me to where I can either work half the time in another country and half the time in America, or be a full expat. But I didn't know that until I was in my 30s, mid 30s. But if the younger generation is able to do that in their at an early age, they can set themselves up for better or more options. And if a lot of those women in America don't want that, they can put a better effort to give those guys a reason to not accept that option. Is that
hold on. That's good, but hold on. Let me get a super chat real quick. And I got you, Pete Willow. I'm gonna bring you on. Total Awesome 8935 says with a 5 super chat, man, I really appreciate that. He says all those actors in the Black love movies are all married to white, Latina, and Asian women in real life. Damn. And when I read
all the actors
I think about Tay Diggs. I think Morris Chestnut married to a sister though. Yeah, I think so. I think most of those guys are definitely married.
And all the actresses is married to no one. And all the Black women in those love movies is married to no one.
Wow.
Just point that out.
Nia Long was married, but her husband cheated on her.
Nia Long was not married. Nia Long was not married. I just googled.
She wasn't married to the head coach of the Boston Celtics.
Nia Long was so beautiful back in the day.
They were dating, but they weren't married.
But Nia Long was so bad.
So,
back in the
that movie really was, tell you something
Big
about
Mama's House, that lingerie, shit. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I liked her in Love Jones, but also to your point, there are Black love stories here. Y'all forgot about Forever on Netflix.
Wait, do what now? Who?
Shows that show Black love today.
You talking about the Tyler Perry movies?
Well, the Forever series was actually a nice series. I liked it. I never saw the.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
The Forever one was good.
Yeah, you over there watching romance movies, dog? Come on, man.
I gotta do something. I never heard of it with my girl. What are you talking about?
Okay. You had to clarify you watched it with your girl now. Okay. All right.
Hey, and BMT, to your point you was making, there's other ways that young Black men can go overseas and still go to college. You have study abroad programs. You can actually just go to college overseas and still experience that life and stuff like that while getting the education. There's also language exchange programs and stuff. These guys can go and experience and get knowledge while at the same time experience life overseas, and they can make their life choice decisions. So there's different ways they can do that.
That's a good point. P. Willow, you there? Is it P. Willow?
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yo, what up to the panel, man? What's up, BMT, Ronan?
What's good? What's good?
Hey, Ronan, it's been a minute, man. It was a while back. It was me, you, Lucario, and it was Kings and Dreams on the panel.
You were on that show that I got him to admit what he thought was his beauty standard.
Yeah.
Let me brief you guys. I got Lucario to admit his beauty standard, because everybody has a different one. He's supposed to be a dating coach.
He don't have any.
Right. His definition was one hamburger away from fucking obese.
I remember that.
And he admitted it on the mic. I said, damn, somebody needs to clip that and use it against him.
Hold on, Ronan. So Lucario was on your show?
It was on Kids and Dreams. It was on Kids and Dreams channel. This was a couple years ago.
Lucario won't come on my show. We try to do collabs before, but Lucario refuses to have me on the panel.
Yeah. So look, real quick. I know y'all probably been in. I just tapped in, a few minutes ago and everything. So look, y'all, real quick. Two things could be true at the same time. I'm neutral between this whole entire thing because I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this real quick because I can.
So y'all game guys. Both of y'all some game guys. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm not like absolute with it. I'll just be real. I'm not all the way absolute with it. I'm not extreme, but yeah.
BMT.
Go ahead, Willow. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. No, two things can be true at the same time. So I'm a type of person where I take everything with a grain of salt and I form it into my own because it's all about me. Now, check this out, though. Check this out real quick, right? We could talk about the game coaches. We could talk about MTR. We could talk about the passport bros because, you know, everybody has something negative and positive to say. But I will say this on behalf of those guys, because I have listened to them, because I wanted to learn something. I wanted to know what their perspective was. But the one thing I wanted to say was the game isn't about women. And it's really not, because it's really about yourself. And I'm gonna make my point.
Say that again, Willow.
The game is not about women. It's about yourself. And if you don't know yourself, first of all, it's 2026. This passport bro movement was going on for well over half a decade. How many times did we see in the news where guys was going to various countries, they was filming in the wrong places, they was getting murked off or whatever. I know I got to pick off certain words so I don't get your channel flagged or whatever, but they was in certain circumstances where they had no business doing, and sometimes it didn't have nothing to do with men. Sometimes guys just was going into other hoods, which I wouldn't understand why you were going to immensely impoverished places where you're completely not from, you know, and, you know, they were, you know, they would get unalive or whatever, right? And there was numerous cases of that. There was lots of guys who have actually reported on that. And not to mention that has nothing to do with women. They just wanted to go out and have a good time and be able to, but it's all about awareness. It's all about knowing yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, we could talk all this travel stuff and everything like that, but if you don't know how to move,
we losing you. Go ahead. You barking out a little bit, bro. Yeah.
What about
you cutting in and out? You was good at first, man. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, if we just talk about YouTube in general, I forgot who mentioned it, but they mentioned something about, you know, you could take up a trade, be an electrician, you could do this and do that. And I personally have learned how to do some things on YouTube. Now, YouTube is basically a collective mind of people who know what they're doing and some that don't. But most of the time, you have things where people post things online and, hey, I can actually learn something from this. I can take something from this. And even though they may know how to do it 1,000% correctly, maybe I can add my own twist to it. But the thing about it is this: if we take things from Sting to Ding, and I didn't watch the whole content, I didn't watch the whole everything, but I know that the dating coaches reacted to it, from AMS, you know, to everybody else that, you know, got in the thumbnail and everything like that. But one of the things that I did mention, or one of the things that I did see that was mentioned, is when you make things about things that's outside of yourself, you lose yourself. Because I'm going to be traveling this summer, you know what I'm saying, for my first time. But it's not about women, because I get women here in America. Now, it has nothing to do with, you know, I can differentiate the quality, you know, and the culture and everything.
P. Willow, I got to make you land your plane a little bit, bro. So are you talking to that? Are you saying that Steve the Dean has good information? Is that what you're basically saying?
I cherry pick what he says, and I can actually zoom in on what he's saying.
Can you tell me one thing that Steve the Dean has ever said?
At least three things.
It's not. The one thing about it is this: the game is not about women. That's it. That's literally it. That's literally it.
Can I give some pushback?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Yes, it is. I know game has like a very general definition and it's fluid. But in the context that we're talking about, as far as dating coaches go, it is about women. So this whole the game isn't women, and then they sell you game about women is really just one of their selling tools. Like, oh no, it's not about women. It's about yourself. You need to buy my course and figure that out. No, no, it's crap. It's about wigs and broads, and it's about 40-year-old men trying to get some.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a
question?
question? Who's speaking right now so I can address the person?
My man, Game
Changer. Oh yeah, Game Changer. We talked before. We talked before, man.
I'm sure we have.
Yeah. I'll go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Bro.
Yeah, no worries. The game is about women. This is one of the many sales tactics that they have, trying to make it seem like it's something deeper and divine. No, it's about getting box from overweight chicks. So overweight local chicks. That's what, and learning how to rub their feet. Stop pretending like, this is some profound wisdom that they are trying to teach you how to be a better, more enlightened human being, okay? It's about getting box from women that are shaped like boxes. So, I mean, miss me with that. They're not selling anything. They're not telling you anything that's profound or that you could cherry pick. There's no cherries in that orchard. There's nothing there, So I don't know why you're defending such ludicrous behavior. I don't.
Okay, do you use the floor? Do you use the floor? Because I would like to retort to that.
Every time there's a long pause, is me yielding the floor.
No, do you yield the floor?
Dang it. The long pause indicates me yielding the floor. Like a big comma or a period is me yielding the floor.
Okay, that's cool. Relax. So, boom. It's okay, because I'm not on nobody's own shit. Because personally, I love my life. I love the way that I'm doing things. However, what I'm saying is this. The only way that these young men can actually learn something, first of all, I got you. Case in point. Did y'all watch, I don't know if y'all keep up with MTR's content, but there was a video that came out like a day or two ago, and he was doing a review on this young man who had dealt with this crazy broad who had got him caught up in some stuff, and it was a chick that he caught cheating on her own cousin. I don't know if anybody caught that or anything, right?
Yeah, I did.
And as I'm listening to the review and listening to this young man speak, I'm gonna tell you why it's not about the women. It's all about yourself, because when you don't love yourself, you will let a lot of things ride because a woman is beautiful, right? How many stories do we have of men in America and outside of America to where they know in their heart of hearts that they should leave that crazy broad alone because she's on some other stuff? And the next thing you know, the guy keeps dealing with her, he's cutting her off, bring her back in, cutting her off, bring her back in, and the next thing you know, he's in some deep-ish. How many stories do you know of that, fellas?
I think we've all done that at some point.
This is where game talk leads, because notice how you were criticizing her for being attractive. If anything,
wait a minute, criticizing.
You were saying that he was distracted by her looks. You were saying that he was distracted by her looks. That is
your diction. Hold on, game changer.
That is a baseless assumption. What I want to say
game changer. Relax, bro.
To dating coaches, right quick. There was no period or long pauses. If you listen to dating coaches, what they will have you do is you will get with a fat, ugly broad that sleeps with her cousin. Okay?
No, it's take them out the way.
There is nothing wrong with being attracted to attractive women. Understand
that. Game changer. We're not talking about game changer. Can me and you, game changer, relax, bro. Relax,
you missed the point, man.
Relax, game changer. Let's take the dating coaches out this for once, okay? Fuck them. Let's take them out. For once. I need you to answer the question. When this young man that deal with very attractive women inside of America and outside of America, we notice that we hear similar stories like this where they know that they shouldn't have been dealing with them because they was crazy. Am I right or am I absolutely right?
You're wrong.
I'm wrong? Okay, you got it, Brody.
Okay, so you're saying, you think that there is some correlation between being attractive and being crazy. There isn't.
You're not listening. You're acting like a
No,
woman.
no,
you're
no.
listening.
I heard
you're
what you
replying.
said.
No, you didn't.
I've been hearing that
I
since
heard
you
what you
started.
said. You brought up straw scenarios. You made up scenarios where guys are going overseas finding attractive women that sleep with their cousins. That's what you are insinuating.
No, you're not listening. You're not listening, bro.
You're not letting me finish. You're not letting me
Because
finish.
you're wrong.
My point.
You're wrong.
My
You're
point. Listen,
errant.
listen,
You're errant and
listen,
arrogant
okay.
and wrong, bro.
Okay. Stop interrupting.
Yeah, I get
Listen,
it.
people.
What in the
people,
world?
you can either go for attractive women and understand that there's risk in all relationships. Whether it's foreign or domestic, attractive women are better, or you can work under the assumption that she's gonna be good because she's ugly as crap.
That shit don't work no more. That shit don't work. That used to be the thing, but they got social media now.
I think you missed the point on that. That dude, whoever you're up top, I think you completely missed the point of what he was saying.
My name's Game Changer. What point am I missing?
Game Changer. I think what he's saying is that people will get distracted by only that, thinking that that's the thing that they're supposed to look at. They're looking at it as a barometer or a gauge of whether or not they should deal with this woman, opposed to looking at these other factors. Is what he was trying to get at, I believe.
Okay, well, let's use the cousin scenario, okay? At what point did he get distracted because she's beautiful? And could an unattractive woman have done the same thing?
Am I allowed to talk, or are you going to keep talking over me?
As soon as I'm finished with dude.
No, I can tell you that I personally have met women in my younger days where I was like, dang, she's fine. And she would start talking to me and she would say something flat out stupid. And to this day, I would reject that woman. In those days, when I didn't know better, I would be like, man, but she fine. And I would let certain things slide. Right? So,
hey, man, we all done that.
Right, exactly. So I think that's what he's getting at. Like, you're completely missing what he's talking about.
No, what I'm saying is that assumptions is made. So now, because you've experienced that, what's going on now is that assumptions is being made by attractive women. That's a very brother.
That's not what we're all assuming about all
brother. Let me finish. Let me finish. The assumption that was made was that it was that he overlooked something about her cousin fucking because she was an attractive woman.
About cousins. Did I miss something here? What are you talking about cousins?
I don't know where
they're talking about the young woman and dude on MTR show where she cheated on him with the cousin.
Streamer. Oh yeah, sure.
And what they're arguing is that he overlooked the signs because she was attractive. My counter argument is, she's not more likely to sleep with her cousin because she's attractive. And secondly, my counter argument is there's no evidence that he overlooked something because he was enamored by her looks. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead, P. Go ahead, P. Willow. Willow, what was your point?
All right, so look, boom, this is what I'm saying. And I would like to speak without being interrupted by anybody. So Game Changer, you had your chance to speak. Yield me the floor, and please do not interrupt me, sir. What I'm telling you and telling everybody on the panel and everybody who is listening, what I'm saying is this, gentlemen. There have been times, and me included, where I was with an attractive woman and I seen the signs that I shouldn't have been dealing with this woman in any circumstances. And I chose to do so. And because of it, I'm the one that got jaded. And these are the things that happened to me because I allowed it. Why? Because if women look to me as the leader, if man is the natural born leader, then quite naturally, not only should I be able to look and lead myself, I should be able to lead the woman. And because I got so enamored with her beauty, I let the things that was red flags, clear as red flags, let go. And therefore, I encountered some things, some unfavorable results. Now, we'll take that. We're going to skip to that, or we're going to say that there are men that need game, knowledge of self, self-awareness, experience, because you can't just tell them to just go overseas and deal with, more pleasant women, but men have to be equipped with knowledge, right? You can't just put up that. If you got slashed, you got stabbed or a gunshot wound or whatever, everything like that, you can't just put a Band-Aid on it and be like, oh, you'll be all right. No, treat that joint. Treat it until it's healed, until you can move on to something else. So what I'm saying is this. That's why I said two things can be true at the same time. Now, I've experienced both sides, pleasant women in America and pleasant women overseas. It's just the system, the culture in here in America is not conducive to men because they hate on masculine, heterosexual men that stand on principles and that have values and morals. And we see it as clear as day. Am I right or am I actually right? Absolutely. So what I'm saying is
your whole question.
Yeah, of course I am. Of course I am. I'm gonna say it like that. Yeah, I'm gonna say it like that. So what I'm saying is this: both men, young men need to know, because I spoke on YouTube and I brought up the whole learning thing. If you can learn how to fucking change a fucking take a transmission out, a carburetor, know how to paint, be an electrician, being a carpenter, right? If you take bits and pieces, a grain of salt from men who know what they're talking about to some degree, because I have enough EQ, emotional intelligence, to be able to decipher that these men are either hating or they're helping, right? That's why I'm the one that I can actually sit through and I can listen to people like that, like Lucario, and even though I can have some pushback, because I'm not going to agree with everything. I don't agree with everything the man has to say, because I only have to answer to me, right? That's what I'm saying.
That's facts.
So if you so if you can take grains of salt of what everything around, that's what the hell you think a well-rounded man is, huh?
I don't know. Be well. I've never heard any Lucario say anything of value as far as manhood. Maybe I don't listen to him like that.
And that's cool. That's cool.
What would you need any Steve the Dean Lucario information for as far as your travels overseas, brother?
Wait, say that one more time.
What information could they ever tell you about your travels overseas?
Nothing, because they don't talk about that. But what I will say is this. If we look at the Passport Bro movement, and this is just from observation, this doesn't make it absolute. All right, gentlemen? This just goes to show what I've looked at the past couple of years. A lot of guys film, and there's nothing wrong with filming content. That's what you do. But a lot of guys make their travels about women. They make their lives about women. And the ones that make their lives about women, they get fleeced and finessed. And we see it all the time. Like let's stop the cap. Let's stop the Capadonna. You feel me?
It sounds you confusing 90-Day Fiance type of
No,
cats
not
with
90 Day
YouTubers.
Fiances when they bring them here. 90 Day Fiances when they bring them here, right?
Yeah, but they still be getting finessed overseas too. They still be in the Philippines and shit getting finessed too.
Let me ask you something, BMT. Let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
And any man on the panel, does any man on the panel have any young children? Hey, like any sons or daughters or anything like that?
I mean, we all got kids, but my kid's too small. Yeah.
Right, because I got a son too, right? He won. So look, boom. You know what I would tell him? I'm gonna give y'all a perfect example. You know what I would tell this young boy when he grows up and to be older? Number one, he gonna get the game from his daddy, because I'm already sold up. But at the same time, like who likes you, but do not do everything and make your life about women. If we look at like a lot of these rappers and shit like that came up and everything. And look, they the biggest tricks. They the biggest tricks. Like we hear in verses and songs and everything like that. I'll pay your rent. I'll do this. I'll spend 100,000. I'll do this and the third like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they the biggest tricks on earth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't care if I got 10 million. I'm not giving a broad a 10,000 to do nothing. Like you gotta earn that with me. You feel me? Like nah, it ain't about that. That's like rapping is a tricking culture, bro. Like just keep it a buck. And
okay, let me say this. Let me say this, because what's the difference between giving a broad $4,000 and giving a game coach $4,000 for the possibility of getting a broad?
So look. No, I got you.
Oh, go ahead.
I got you. Me personally, I wouldn't give no dating coaches any money, and I haven't. I can honestly really say that. 10 toes down. But what I will say is this: I actually had a father that gave me game, so I already know what the game is. So I don't have to do that. See, a lot of these boys, no, let's do this. Let's dive into some math right now. Let's dive into some statistics right now, right?
No, before we get into that, what you were saying a moment ago is really just game dudes justifying existence. There's always going to be a need for education, and what game dudes do, like yourself, as a selling point is, oh, you're always going to need education because you need information from other places. So game, and that's their selling point. Listen, and then also another thing that they do is they take individual horrific instances and say, okay, this individual needs gain. Therefore, a person should listen to me. People want to have a position of leadership and respect in whatever community that they're in. And game dudes found like a niche to do that. Like, oh, you see, that happened to you because you didn't have any game. You need to come listen to me. Religious figures, cult members, they do the same thing. It's the way of getting galvanizing people through tragedy. Listen, a dude got cheated on by a woman who is, into incest. Stuff happens. Now that is part of his maturation process. He didn't do anything wrong. As far as I know, there probably wasn't any. He
did though. He did do something wrong, but I'll listen.
It's not your turn to talk. It's not your turn to talk. A person who got cheated on by their cousin didn't do anything wrong. So stop pretending like, oh yeah, if that was me, I would have put a lie detector on the bitch and made her answer what your cousin looked like or some crap like that. I would have listened to the music that she listened to and see if she likes music about cousin fucking. No, there's nothing he could have did.
Come on, man.
Okay, my mistake. My mistake. I'm respecting the stream. No, but I can't stand these 2020 hindsight dudes that sit around and say, "Oh yeah, I would have did this. Y'all should listen to me because I know what I'm talking. That would have never happened to me." Stop lying.
Hey.
Stop lying.
Guys, hold on. P. Willow, Game Changer, hold on. Y'all had the floor for a minute. I want to hear from Twan Gone Global. What you got to say, brother?
All right. First off, I say that the way that we look at this whole thing, I'm going to start off with just the passport thing in general. To me, a passport in general is like a time machine. All it is it's something that allows us to go to places that have not been affected the way America has already been affected. Eventually, all of these places will catch up. So Thailand is,
and that's the sad part about it. That's the sad part about it.
Thailand is sitting in the sun right now, right? And a lot of people are seeing it is sunny there, and they're going there because it's nicer. I'm sitting in Thailand. I'm here 19 months now, right? Got a Thai girlfriend in the other room, right? It's in a sweet spot right now because eventually feminism, all those things are going to hit here. We're actually helping that happen at this very moment because social media, all the things we're doing, they're watching too. They're watching our women in America and they're repeating things that they're saying now. They're watching our culture that we're bringing over here.
No, Twan Gone Global. I don't mean to interrupt you, bro, but it's even worse than that. They're starting to hang with the American women here too.
They're coming over here because they're starting to follow us.
Yeah,
so I'm seeing all of that. Yeah, so they're picking up their mannerisms. I'm seeing that Thai women are starting to post things that American women were posting. They were literally posting black women saying things that we already cringe when we hear. So they're bringing all that culture here. It's right now we're just in a spot where we can enjoy it because it's not completely there. It's like when our grandparents used to live in a time where the doors were unlocked. I was just in Eson like for the last 3 days and there's no locks on the door. And I'm like, I remember my grandparents' house used to be like this, right? And that part of Thailand is still in its own time capsule. But when we come to places like Pattaya, you go to Bangkok and Phuket, places like that, you see they're a little bit more advanced and they're paying attention to what's going on in the world and they're being affected. So we come here and we're kind of in this sweet spot where they know just enough, where they're accepting of us. They're not completely ignorant. They learn a little bit of English. They're interested in Americans or foreigners in general. But all this is the time machine. Your passport just allows you to kind of be in places where it's more beneficial time-wise. The women are not better. They just haven't learned what those women have learned yet. Now they're better in a sense where right now they're better for you, right? Because they are still not all tainted, right? And you can go to places where you can find these untainted people places. Another thing I don't agree with, where we say that we shouldn't be basically looking for companionship, like, because that's what we're here for in this earth. That's what I believe. I think is a big part of what keeps us alive, what makes us live longer. The reason why we search for mates. It's the reason why, since you were a little boy, the car you were thinking about driving, everything you thought about doing was basically for the woman that you was going to get in the future. Now, not saying that was the, like, you was, say that again?
No, I'm just referencing P. Willow. He said game is not about women, but you said that everything that you like planned or see yourself buying was for a woman. You know,
most of the time when you were young, the moment you
things.
started thinking about women, you were thinking, oh, I need to make this amount of money to have the family that I want. I ain't talking about just to have sex, because what I actually believe is not what a lot of people believe. I don't even think men should even be making, like, we haven't earned the right to have relationships until we have resources to take care of a family. I think we can go out there and experience life and enjoy life, have fun. I think young men should come to Thailand, right? So they should go out other places in the world so they can not be stuck in the matrix, of course, and be accepting bull crap, right? I don't think they should go back there and go to college, you know, and
I don't mean to
worry
cut you
about
off,
those
man.
women.
I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize in advance. Okay, so I think the difference between what you're saying and I guess what the game guys, you know, say or whatever, not saying I really adhere to what they say, you know, I adhere to my own shit, but what they pretty much have the women serve them, you know, as opposed to the man serving the woman. I think that's the difference. Like you said,
what women are serving these dudes?
That's what I'm saying. You believe that? Do you actually believe that?
I'm just what women is serving these dudes? Because we see who's serving Zoom to Thailand. We see who's serving BMT. What woman is serving these dudes?
Not well. When I say serve, I mean serve is in, you know, pretty much pimping. That's pretty much what I mean. When I say serve, I mean pimping.
Who are they?
You know, in a nutshell.
What are you talking about? They have no receipts. No, they're false pimps. It says in the Bible, don't listen to false idols. That's you.
Hold on, guys.
What in the world? You are following dudes that have invisible women, as opposed to listening to ones that actually do have cooperative women.
Hold on, guys. I want to meet you. Yeah, I want to meet you real quick. I gotta go ahead and close up the show, man. But I do want to respond to Twan going global real quick. I went to Rio the first time in 2017, right? Had the time of my life, met Charles Tyler, rest in power to him. A couple of guys from the Black Man's Options and everything. Had a great time. I returned to Brazil in 2022, I believe. And the feminism had took over. They had a whole feminist movement within that time frame. And just the mindset of the Brazilian woman, at least in Rio, was so much different than when I first visited in 2017. So Twan Gone Global is right. He's absolutely right in that assessment. And I don't know what we can really do about it, because I see exactly what you see. I'm here, even though I'm on the north side of Pattaya, more so towards Bangkok, I still see it. I see events where, you know, you have some sisters hanging out with some Thai women. And I'm like, oh, that's a bad formula right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a bad formula right there, because in essence, for whatever reasons, a lot of these women in these other countries do look up to American women, whether we like to admit to it or not. Right? Because they see it's like how we used to look up to Jay-Z and rappers back in the day. That's how they look up to these, you know, these American rapper women and all that shit right there. But guys, hey, listen, I know this is a great panel. Don't worry, I'm gonna go live again tomorrow. I got you. I gotta kind of go. You know, you gotta play daddy duty right now, man. But guys, appreciate everybody on the panel. It's been a great show. We out. Peace.
Hey, I'm about to go live, so y'all can
get on earlier next time.